Hi guys, it's Amy and you have found Amy Loves Crochet. I do really appreciate your time, so thank you so much for clicking on my video. I've been up to a couple of different little things here and there. Thought I'd share little bits and pieces of it with you. As many of you have maybe noticed, I've got a little vacancy here because I got my jar down. I've been trying to wrap my head around all the work it takes to cake up these teeny tiny little mini hanks. I mean, so some of us are used to these stroll hanks or this size hank from places like Knit Picks or wherever. And these are 92 yards of fingering weight. But these little guys here, these are only, where'd my number go? These are only 24 yards. So it's really, really difficult. My yarn winder, I think is the same size. You know, I think there's only a standard size. I haven't really researched it that well. But to get these little hanks wrapped up into a cake, the center of the cake is kind of big, and so it doesn't take very long to get your little cake made up, but it's not very sturdy. Like, I feel like it doesn't compact down on itself like the bigger cakes might. So I saw, I think it was Ross that I saw, who put his little, as he cakes up his little mini hanks into cakes so that he can just grab one and use it. Because in here they might look cute and all that, but you can't use them. And so to get them into a process where I can start to use them and start to, you know, get ideas and things like that, I'm going to need to hank them up or cake them up. And it's just kind of fiddly. This is what I'm trying to say, I guess. I want to, in a real world where I could just poof and make my own machine, the center part where you wind your yarn onto would be smaller to begin with for these little guys. So who knows, maybe I'll make one up out of some small, I'll MacGyver something together to make this a little bit easier for myself, because it is, I did 5 last night, getting interrupted by little bits, and most of them had more trouble than smoothness in winding them. So one of them I got right through and thought, okay, I got the hang of it now, and then I didn't on the next one. I decided that was done for. So I'll go ahead and get those worked up as I can or whatnot, and get my little basket filled with my little tiny minis, my eeny teeny miny minis, and get something made eventually for that. One of the other things that I was looking at was my hanks that I had up here. There was a yarn here that I'll insert a picture of what the hank looked like. And I thought that I would hold it together with that hazel basil that I showed you guys. And as I was caking up the hank, I decided it was way, way, way too pretty. I didn't see, I wasn't seeing how gorgeous and vibrant these colors were while it was in the hank. When I was caking it up, it was just so absolutely gorgeous that I'm going to do something by itself. I'm not going to put that with another yarn. I thought it was way, way, way too pretty for that. So as you can see, I did get something started with the hazel basil. I'm sorry to say that I learned that my uncle passed away. And when I learned that news, I happened to be holding this yarn in my hand. And so this yarn will forever be my uncle representative. You know, when you make something and you dedicate it to somebody, or it's in honor of, or just simply that you'd remember them because of, the circumstances, whatever. Anyway, so this one is another one by Annie Design. Hold on, I'm getting my papers mixed up here. This one here. This one is called, oh, and that was the other thing. A lot of times when I find a pattern, there's, I don't know how people name their patterns and their completed projects, but a lot of times it has a color that names the yarn. Like there was one I did from Bag O' Day. I remember it was called like Cherry Wine, and the color that I was using did not look like cherry wine, but that's the project or the pattern that I used my own different yarn for. So there's another one that I'm looking at that is the word peach is in there because she's used like a peach colored yarn. I want to do the project, but I don't have that color yarn, and then it feels weird to call it that. So this is I think the first time that it's actually happened to me, that the yarn that I wanted to use for this actual project matched. The name of the shawl is called the Green Olive Shawl again by Annie Design, or Annie Crochet Design. And it's fingering 4mm G hook as normal. And it's, we get through 10 rows, and then it's a 4-row repeat that you do 8 times. And they're very, very similar. So some of you might consider that like easier because they're kind of all the same. But some of you like me might get a little bit confused by it. So I look and look and look and look at my pattern as I'm doing it. So there's 4 rows, 3 of them are chains, single crochet kind of deals. And then the 4th one is a shells row. And so it's easy to see where you're at. Some you're not able to see. It's, you know, I can get really confused in trying to count back repeats and rows like that. I don't know how you can see it very pretty, but you can see these like just chain type rows. I always want to do it better. I always want to do this better. Let's see if I put this behind it. There we go. So there's these nice little chains, and then these, you know, as this is the way that the shawl is sitting, but the stitch is upside down. I'll turn it this way to show you. It is, I just recently commented how I like it. It's a cluster of like 2 double crochets together and then a chain 1, and you do that 3 times. So one of her points, one of the things that she discusses is how important it is to block your work when you're working with something lacy like that, like this. But I think it's very, very important in this case to do so as well. So I've gotten through the 10 rows, and then I've got 5 repeats. So I'm almost finished with this repeat. So then I've only got a couple more rows to go, or a couple more repeats. So that's 4, 8, you know, another 10 rows or so. I don't think it's big enough. I don't think that's the full size. I mean, maybe, but you know me, I was looking at it more as one of these because I really enjoy that look of having it in front of you better. And see, then you can see a couple of these little pops of the weirdo color I had said that was kind of weird on the cake. You can see like that purple and that little bit of red. Once in a while, it just kind of pops in there. I don't know if somebody sneezed and got some color mixed in, but so that's what I'm working on. And I'm, you know, 3/4 of the way through it or whatever. So I'll enjoy finishing that. It's really lacy, so it's kind of hard to see when you hold it back like that. So holding it in front of something is kind of necessary to see it like that. One of the other things that I got working on, oh, let me stick in the same category here for a minute. I showed you guys this. This is also an Annie Design Crochet. And she's got a lot of 1 skein shawls out there. And so when you're like me and you've got like this 1 skein of beautiful yarn, what do I do with it? I'm not sure that will it reach full shawl size or whatever. So I like to go to the Annie Design Crochet library and find stuff to do. So this one is one that I started with a while back. It's called Winter Ice. And I showed it to you guys because I was going to, I have it right here. I was going to make it with this Stroll mini pack that had these colors and then one of these blues. And I thought this blue just did not match. I could not appreciate this color combination to include this bright pop of blue. I mean, I like it on this one, but this was super, super bright. I don't know. I kind of didn't think it went. So I had another one. So I started with one. Oh, that's what I did. Okay. Forgive my absent-mindedness. I'm kind of gathering my thoughts here. Where'd you go? Did you drop? Did you fall? Here it is. Okay. So this was another pack of tonals that I got. These little mini pack of tonals. And so what happens is you get this little pack of minis that have gradient colors or just different colors. See, these were all like grays. And then it had this blue. So you've got gray, 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 kind of dark gray, kind of a little bit black, whatever, and then this blue. And I didn't think that went with it. So I took that out of it. So now I've got only 4 of the minis, and I'll have to come up with something else to color combine with that one. But then this one, this blue, was the 5th of this colorway. This one was aquamarine. This one was called Coastal. That's why I called it that. So I did some mixing and matching way back then, and I said I was going to find some other blues along the way to keep adding to it from here and there. And I was looking at it again. I'm not happy with the flat stripe straight across like that. So I've kind of been put off to continue it anymore, to keep working on it anymore. And then even with my little minis here, I thought, well, I'll get all the blue ones together, but then it's going to be like chunk, chunk, stripe, 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 stripe. And so that didn't make me happy either. So I'm still working on this. I'm still trying to figure out what am I going to do with it. I'm not really happy with that straight across change. You know, in hindsight, I maybe would have changed colors different, you know, in a shawl that kind of gives you that V direction instead of just going straight across like this one, since it's a bottom up, I do believe. Where's my mark off? Yeah, it's a bottom up. So this one's kind of sticking out there. Like, I don't know if I want to, how I'm going to finish it. I mean, obviously I'm going to finish it. I don't like to let things go. It's a little bit small, but I don't have to maybe go that much bigger and just add something else. I don't know. That one's still on the back burner a little bit. But it was in my mind because I was caking up my little minis, my extra teeny tiny minis. So then the next thing I started working on, and I was kind of really happy to get it and get going with it. I've tried to start on this before and I didn't even get this far, and I got stuck earlier. So now I got a little bit farther, but now I'm stuck again. So as some of you may have seen, I would like to crochet onto a zipper. The fact that I'm using a bag that has a zipper on it as opposed to just using a zipper and then my crochet is the bag was just one of those things. I'm trying. I don't know. This is not my forte. And so what I did, I pulled up the video and I watched it again. So I felt comfortable about the stitches, except for how close they are together. And so I've got a 2mm hook to crochet, which I would not crochet with if you held a gun to my head. And I can barely get that up underneath there to do the crocheting that I would need to do with like a 3.25 or a 3.5mm hook. So, you know, I went through and I marked my little edging here where I was going to stab through. And so maybe those are just too close. She says how far to be with your needle work in centimeters. And I told myself, oh, that just means this. But then I didn't really look at what that meant. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I mean, I think I'll just rip that out and try again, start over. Maybe only go with every other dot. I think these were at 1/4 of an inch apart. I'm not sure. But that was one good thing, you know, like I have a lot of things that are going to take a lot of mental work right now, things I got to figure out. And so that doesn't leave me in a very happy place. And, you know, I like to find joy with everything I'm doing. So I'm going to work on that a little bit more and see what I can do to get that right, because I really, 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 really want to get this down. And as far as my Christmas blanket, what I decided was, at work, we have kind of 2 sister departments. I'm one of 2 sister departments. And this year we're going to do a Christmas party together and do a big gift exchange with everybody. And I'm going to put this to the side on the side table. If you want it, put your name in for the drawing and I'll draw names at the end. So that way people don't feel, you know, obligated to take it if they don't want it. Reasons to take it, you know, if you don't want it for yourself, you could always gift it to somebody else or share it maybe with your church's community chest, or, you know, just because you like to win drawings and you don't need what you've won. I don't care if that's your reason, you know, so I thought that might be fun to do. But other than that, you know, hanking up these little guys is going to be an event. This, I cannot wait to get something going with this. This is the little name, the band. Beep. And I don't know the colorway. It's the ones, they've only got numbers for colorways, I think. I think this one, let me pull this out gently. It is colorway 3025 of this unique. Here, let me cover my face. And URTH is the yarn company. And you just can Google that and you can find it out there. But this is some yarn that I've had for a little while. That little pixie shawlette that I did that we all love the colors of was made out of this yarn, a different colorway, but this was the same yarn. So, okay, guys, I think that's what I've got for you today. Thanks for sitting with me. I hope you have a wonderfully blessed day, and please do come back and see me again. Happy holidays. Thank you. Bye-bye. One more thing I almost forgot. If you have sent me an email and I have not replied to it, I am terribly sorry. I had an email that was amylovescrochet@gmail.com because it's all in the Google world, and something was a red flag somewhere. I saw that that's an easy way to get hacked. If they get into your email, they get your channel, they got everything. So I created a new name, a new email address, and somehow it was not linked right. It was linked initially, and then somehow it wasn't, or something. I don't know, but I checked it out again last night and found that I needed to fix that, so I fixed it. And if you have sent me something that I didn't respond to, please send it back to me again. All right, thanks.